Hello. Hi. I know it's a few seconds before. Just want to be sure we're live. We're going. Hello. Monique here, live from the green room. Good to see you all. Let me see here, make sure it's broadcasting to the correct page. Yes, it is. All right. So, this is my once a month Q&A live stream show here on YouTube for you. This will be about an hour, and this is your chance to ask me whatever burning questions you have about pet photography, the business of the craft of volunteering, all of those fun things. I've been kind of exploding with marketing ideas lately, and so I thought we could dive into some marketing questions. Before we do, hello, Morgan. Glad to see you. Hello, DG. You're doing photo stuff. If you look real close behind me, it is a hot mess behind this big chair and on the floor. Oh my gosh. It has just been one of those months. October is amazing. I love October. I get a lot of still clients. I get a lot of photography clients, let's call it that. And with Colorado just had some incredible fall show this year. Thank goodness. Last year we had wildfires, and probably the year before. Anyway, perfect conditions this year for outdoor fall photos here in Colorado. So I've just had a bunch of them just minutes before going live. I finished editing the last session. So, phew. But I've also been doing some video work. So I did that all day yesterday. And then the marketing course that I've been talking about is completely filmed and partly edited. So I got kind of a lot of stuff going on. All right. What do you use for backup storage? Ooh, okay. Um, it is I don't know the official, like, brand, but basically a RAID array. So my office is on one level, and just above me is the 2nd bedroom, which is actually my husband's office. So we have a direct line going through. I actually have all of the internet-y stuff here in my office since I do so much uploading to YouTube and client galleries and things like that. So my work, we copy over onto a RAID array, which is one of those, like, bins with a whole bunch of hard drives. Now, I think that's a good question because I think that's automatically happening, and I actually moved some stuff over because I filled my my main computer drive, because what happens when I'm editing, videos are huge, and it takes up just a lot of processing. So I process all the ongoing videos on my main desktop computer, and then when I'm done, I move them off to a different drive or 2 different drives. I have some backups. So that's kinda how I do that. At one point, what I wanted to do was get a whole bunch of SD cards and just, like, put 1 client per card, get, like, a bunch of 8 or 16 gig cards, but I never quite got around to that. I don't think that's something that I'm really gonna, like, follow up on. So that's kind of what I do for backup, and I've kinda learned that the hard way after losing drives, because what I used to do, and I still have some, but the external hard drives that you just kinda hook up to USB, I would just get a new hard drive every year, and those don't last forever, so there's that. And then when I switched over to PC a few years ago, I have some external drives that are only Mac, so those are fairly old now. So I'd actually have to take them somewhere, to have all those images and whatever's on those hard drives, put on a PC compatible drive. Ugh, what a pain, right? But I mean, we need to do it, you know? Yeah. What do you use, DG? And what's everybody doing? Well, how's it going? This live stream I said was marketed for marketing on the thumbnail. So I'd love to answer marketing questions because I've been talking about that a lot lately. And I've got this course that's going live in 2 weeks. I do want to let you know that I have like a special deal on this course to pre-order it, but it's only going out to people on the ProPet Photog email list, which is easy to get on just at the website. So at propedphotog.com, get on that email list because if you want this 4-part course on marketing, and I'm telling you, it took me 12 hours to record this. It won't be that much content, but it'll be a lot. And I'm giving a special deal just to the people on the email list. So just make sure you're on that. If you're not, though, it's still going to be a really great deal for you. If you're thinking, how in the world do I get clients? How can I market beyond just what I'm doing? Many of us get stuck with, um, I've tried this. I post on Facebook all day and I'm not getting clients. Okay, that's only one of many marketing streams. So, yeah, I'm excited to finish up that editing now and get it out to you. And I've made at least 4 of the templates for the different marketing pieces. Yeah. What are you doing? Let's see, DG, USB, and SD. But thinking about lacy storage, I don't know what that is. Oh, see, I've got a little bit of an advantage because my husband is a computer expert. That's kind of what he does all for work. And so I've left it up to him. I said, "Listen, I need this to be able to be backed up like dual backup, not completely a ghost drive, or like a what's it called? A complete duplicate of everything, but this particular data I would like backed up in 2 places. And so he's just made that happen. That's nice. I wish I had more people on my team. And actually, next year, I'm really going to have to get an assistant. It was difficult this year. Um, I think I would do create better photos if I had an assistant just behind me squeaking things. I had a session where I couldn't use my light because it was just too windy out. And that's the one I just finished editing, but the light would have made such a big difference. Actually, I had 2 sessions a week or so ago that I could have used light, but it was simply too windy and an assistant would have helped so much. But anyway, I all that to say I would like to grow my team here in the next year or so. And also with big video shoots, there's a lot of equipment and a lot of like keeping track of shot list and what and the script. And sometimes I need people to hold the boom for the microphone. Luckily, yesterday's production there was no lines, so it was. But I still really could have used a helper. So, um, I'm glad I at least have Steve for that. And he's my cheerleader, and he actually cooked me delicious breakfasts every day because he knew that I wouldn't have a chance to eat for quite a while. Yeah, I hope you all have some kinda team. It's nice to be able to have somebody that we can call on every once in a while. Like, I don't have enough for people to do full time unless I passed off some of my social media, although I do have my editor. I have an editor that edits all of my YouTube videos for this channel and my Cattail Chronicles channel over here. Steve and I, my husband and I, have started Cattail Chronicles this summer, and it's all about us going out and about with our big cameras in nature. So we took a ginormous road trip from here to Santa Fe and back, and stopped at quite a few places. We've been out to the Fall Colors. We went to Peak Highway. We went to local places, landscape and nature. We're just having a ton of fun. It's just a ton of fun. So check that out if you're interested in that kind of thing. What else we got over here? What do you do for prints? Epicade is fantastic. Oh my gosh. Do you follow, does she have 2 channels? Yeah. So Epic Kate has her vlog channel and then she has YouTubing with Katie. So if you ever think about getting into YouTube, I would definitely follow Katie because she's not all about, all the little algorithms and the analytics. She's not super buried in analytics like a lot of YouTube help channels. It's all about kind of how you present yourself and how you connect with people. So anyway, Katie, yeah, love her. Prince. Now, Morgan, are you talking about prints for my clients? That's what I'm assuming you're talking about. And you found all her personal so far. Okay, yeah. It's really fun. Did you see the one with her foster kittens? She wanted to volunteer at the cat rescue in her town. And then when she got there, like, well, we have this pregnant cat that's going to give birth any day, and there's no one here overnight. Could you take her home? And she did. It was so great. Oh my gosh. Okay, so back to your question though. For prints, I actually have several labs. So for my main lab, where I get all of my mounted prints, what else do I get there? Memory boxes, cards, like greeting cards that my clients want. What else do I get there? I think that's pretty much it. That's White House Custom Color. Let me write that in the comments here. White House Custom Color. And do do. Okay. Now, for canvas, these are from a local company. Which way am I pointing? Okay, so these are just from a local company, and I used them for my client work for a while, but their quality just isn't quite there. I actually had clients calling me a year later saying they were kind of coming apart, which no bueno, right? So for my client canvases now, I use Artsy Couture. I believe that's the one, right? I have so many labs. Actually, let me look it up on my second screen here so I make sure that I'm telling you the right place. Er, The yeah, the only drawback with them is they don't have all of the different sizes that I like to carry. So in that case, then I just go to White House Custom Color, my main lab, and I'll get odd size canvas wraps from them. I just really like, for me, canvases is about the corners and how, how it comes together. So the backing has to be secure, the hangers, and then the corners can't have all this excess fabric. If they didn't wrap the corners right, it just looks weird. So I don't like that. And then I did a video recently, excuse me, about my album company. And now I'm drawing a blank. Okay, my album company is, I think if I just go over here, and I'm just gonna start this real quick, but I can't believe I already forgot. Oh, Fineo. Uh, so Fineo, Fineo.com, and I'll put that in here in the chat as well. So here we go. We have White House Custom Color for my main prints. And my main prints, oh, I know what else. My main prints are all mounted. So they're mounted on styrene, which is a thicker material, and all of those are at my studio for samples. Mounted prints and bamboo prints, like mounts. They're mounted on bamboo, cards, and memory boxes. And then for my canvas wraps, I have Artsy Couture. I like them. And then for my albums, I have Fineo.com, and oh my gosh, I got these albums, and I didn't showcase them here because it's not pet related. Um, but I got these albums. They're called a Muse box, and this person wanted 12 by 12. It was for her house build, so not pet related at all. Um, and then the front of it, we have this acrylic window with a print behind it, and the cover material can be any material you normally use. And then we had a box made that goes in, and it has this ribbon that you can take it out. And the box also has an acrylic strip. Oh my gosh, just gorgeous. And not nearly as much as you think it would be for that huge thing. So those are my three main labs. I hope that answers that for you, Morgan. Patty, hello. Patty says hi, everybody. Senor Jackson, hello. Won't be able to stay long, but we'll sure give it a listen later in this week. Okay, cool. While you're here, do you have any questions? I feel like I'm shouting. I'm sorry. My microphone's like right here, and I shouldn't be talking so loud. So if you have questions, since you're not going to be here longer, slip them right in right now. This is my Q&A hour for the month. And for the people who just got here, I think most of you are on the Pro Pet Photog email group. Go here if you're not, because the marketing course that is half done, there is a special on it, only to people on the email list. So I'll let you know that. Emails come out every Friday, the same day as the YouTube video. Sorry, this is just doing a lot of things over here. So you want to be on the email list, because I'm doing a heck of a deal to people on the email list pre-launch. Okay. Oh, I got to make that go away. Hold on. Okay. All right. Now, back to comments. No, but I've heard great things about it. So one of the great things, and I think Patty's going to this, is if you have a chance to go to a conference or a convention. So PPA, Professional Photographers of America, every January has a ginormous conference. This year it's near Washington, D.C. It's actually a lot cheaper this year, too, I think, kind of coming out of the pandemic. So if you're kind of in that area, I suggest. But they have a huge expo floor. So if you're not quite sure which company you want to go with, that is an amazing place to just go and hold and look through, compare all kinds of labs and then talk to representatives. And usually there's a drawing or something fun to do at these expo booths. And that was a kind of a big thing for me every year because it's the PPA imaging is so big. I would write a list. I would go through all the vendors I knew would be there and I would have a list. They have an app. And so your imaging app, I would say, okay, I want to stop by White House Custom Color and see what new products they're offering. That kind of thing. I want to stop by this booth to see what lenses they have. I always stop by the Sony booth because I am a Sony Pro support member and I get my cameras all clean there. It's almost worth the worth the trip, Patty, to go just to get all of my Sony gear clean. So yeah, but I have, DG, heard great things about Bay Photo. There's quite a few. People really love Miller Labs. That's another one. Miller is really nice because they also have the consumer side MPix, and so sometimes I will point people to MPix for my event photos that I don't charge as much for, and so that goes through my Pixie Set gallery. And we could talk about that separately, but MPix has been really good too. Or Miller. Same place, right? Okay, Patty, you were going to do something like PayPal, but discovered local banks provide a similar service where you can get a credit card reader. What are your thoughts? Sure. Yeah, I don't see why not. I think the thing about like PayPal and Square is that they're known brands and people understand that. But like I have mine through QuickBooks because at Quick years and years ago, QuickBooks like, hey, here's a card reader, have fun, and it's linked. Bam, the money goes right into my QuickBooks and gets immediately whatever, immediately deposited into right into my bank account. It was already hooked up to my bank account, so that made sense. So that could make sense for you too. So if you process your cards through your actual bank, man, it's going to go straight into your bank. Just maybe look at the features you might want to have on that, but I don't see why not. Yeah. And you know what? You can always change it later. Yeah, so if you decide, I'm not loving this, let me check out something else." It's pretty easy to do, to change it later. Yeah. I did not know those events, they can clean your cameras. Yes. Well, okay, so Sony always shows up in the years that I've been, and they have a huge, huge booth that they have, and one portion of that is this whole room that they'll clean your gear. Now, that's also a way for them to pull you in to join their pro support, which is like $100 a year. It's not bad at all. And when they used to have Sony Camera Camp, I was so hoping that I would get to go to a Sony Camera Camp, but stupid COVID, whatever. But for Sony particularly and Canon usually has a huge area that they do camera cleaning. But honestly, Nikon hasn't been there for years. So you can't get a Nikon camera clean. But those two brands generally do have them at imaging. Yes, pretty cool. Yeah, Patty. Oh, that's right. Yes, your camera club got a discount code, like, you may as well go. Also, you can get a pass to just the expo. So say you don't wanna do all 3 days at the conference, but you wanna go to the expo, that has open hours to the public. So oftentimes you can get into the expo for pretty cheap, and you can actually get into the expo for free if you're on the email list of the vendors that will be there, because they will send you an email, and so they'll be like, "Hey, we're gonna be here and we're giving away free tickets to the expo. Just respond and we'll give you a ticket." So odds are, if you're on enough vendor email lists, you can get into the expo for free. Patty, I can hardly wait to get your feedback on imaging. Yes. With QuickBooks, is there a monthly subscription depending on your sales service? Oh, yeah, I do pay for QuickBooks. That's a good point. But I've paid for QuickBooks forever, and so at the top of the show, I was talking about having a team. I have an accountant. And my accountant, I get QuickBooks at the accountant wholesale cost. So, part of my fee is 25 bucks a month. I pay towards QuickBooks, which normally is like 40 plus, which is great. So there is the QuickBooks fee, but I would pay that anyway. Now, as far as just using the QuickBooks card reader, I don't really know. I don't know. Keep in mind, all of these have fees of some sort. Um, just kind of look around. I know. I kind of like Patty's idea. If there's already a bank that you're working with, perhaps that could be part of just a whole bundle that you do. I like it. Yeah. Let me get my water here. It has been such a busy couple of weeks. I fell asleep at 8:30 PM last night, and I woke up at 7 today. What? Completely exhausted. Oh my gosh. I call this fall season my season of sacrifice because I know I'll be working more, but then I'll have almost an entire, month in December of kind of downtime because the kind of tapers off after the first week of December. So I'm okay with this. A lot of people talk about balance as if it has to be a balance every single day. And for me, I just need at some point. So I have a pendulum. I don't have so much of a teeter totter. So my pendulum, sometimes it's kind of swinging right in here and everything's pretty good. Sometimes I'm like, whoa, that's a lot of business, or whoa, that's a lot of personal. So that's kind of how I feel. Um, so I got a lot going on, but I'm super grateful for that. And I'm glad to be able to be here and talk with you all for the next hour and pass on any information that I could possibly give you. Um, Keep in mind too, I just got notifications from Hair of the Dog, Nicole Begley, and they are doing it's $10 to go to their 2-day, I think it's a 2-day event, maybe 3-day, just after Halloween. So the Tuesday and Wednesday, I think, of first ones of November, $10 to go to the Hair of the Dog Summit. Of course, they'll upsell you and you can buy the whole thing for $70 or something, like to get the recordings. But I'm gonna do it. Like, I want to see what else people are talking about. There's some big name pet photography educators in there, so it's great to get those different perspectives. All right, what other things? Oh my goodness. So far, I haven't had any questions about marketing. Are you full up on your clients, or you feel like you're tapped out? You can't do any more marketing? What other questions do you have for me? Oh, let's see. What products? Coffee cups? Oh, for my clients? No, I don't. That's just not what I carry. We do that for the Cattail Chronicles brand that gets funneled into Steve's business, Denver Cool. That's a whole different thing. But for my regular clients, what I carry is mounted prints for anything. I think it's 12 by 12 and smaller. So 5 by 7 to 12 by 12. And then the larger pieces, I have, excuse me, canvas, wraps, bamboo blocks, or black framed prints. And so those are my print options. And then I carry two different size albums, a 6 by 6 and an 8 by 8. I have a memory box and I can design the entire box, and you can get it with matted and mounted prints inside. And I also carry greeting cards. I can custom make greeting cards and they come in sets of 24, and digital copies. So all of the wall type art comes with a digital, social media sized and ready digital, or they can just buy digitals too. And I'm reworking my price list. I know I've been talking about that, but with all the sessions, I'm gonna have to do that at the end of the year. Unfortunately, I wish I had done my prices sooner because I could be making more money right now, but whatever. So those are my products for print sales. Right now, I'm using a local merchant for credit card readers and all that fun stuff, and my fees keep going up. And since I already pay for QuickBooks for tax purposes, I'll probably go with them. Yeah. And that's kind of what I did too. It's like, it's so hard to kind of do all the nuances of taxes for sales tax, number one, and then federal taxes. Blah. Um, so I feel like I need to have QuickBooks for that, so you might as well. They used to do the card reader for free, and now I think they're charging for it. That's a bummer, but yeah, I feel you. You're welcome. And you know what? It's never a bad idea to call and ask for a lower rate or a different program or switch altogether. So we have that choice, which is great. I have this one silly hair. Can you see that? Oh my gosh. Let's see. Patty, here the Dog Summit runs right up against Mid Atlantic Photo. Oh, you're the alternate rep. Hey, that's pretty cool. So yeah, if I think it's like 69 bucks if you want to buy the recordings. I don't think that was too bad. It sounds like there's gonna be a ton of stuff in that. That's gonna be a busy time for you, Patty. Whoa. Andrea, hello. Oh, gosh, I just love that pink tree in your bio picture. So, when you first started out being a pet photographer, how did you get your name out there so that people recognize you? Okay. So I will be talking about that some in the marketing course, but really what I did is I just approached a bunch of different people and said, "Hey, can we do a trade?" It's kind of like one of those model call things, but it's not like a mini session. And so I'll talk about this in the course too, the differences that I feel between those. But I just approached a bunch of people and said, "Hey, I'm starting up this." I'd already done people photography in another state that I lived in across the country. And so I had quite a few people portraits for my portfolio, but I wanted to add pets. So I approached probably 10 people and said, let's do a session. I offered so many pictures for them to have. And then if they wanted to buy any prints, they could. And then I had all those images for my portfolio. And so that kind of started getting my name out there. And I honestly, I approached a lot of people that had pet based businesses. So we have a boutique in the next town over that's really well known in the Old Town area. Talked to them, a pet sitter I knew that she owned the pet sitting business. I talked to her, and so then she could kind of start telling her clients too. What was really cool was, and I don't remember if I got any referrals from this, but at least you got those 7 touches of everybody hearing about you. Is I asked if I could put something like my rack card or a coupon or a flyer in all of her welcome packets for her new pet sitting clients. You could do this with pet sitters, groomers, boutiques, your rescues. I've done it all different ways just to really saturate the market with your name. So that's kind of what I did. In the course, I'm going to talk about doing displays at your local businesses and think beyond pet based businesses. These have been awesome for me. It's a little bit more money up front, depending on how big a display you do, of course, but it can be very lucrative. So it's really, and then doing my rescue work. And I want to caveat that don't volunteer at the rescues if your heart's not in it. Like I would do that anyway. Think about it that way. I would be volunteering at the rescues even if I didn't run this business. But the agreement I make with the any kind of rescue organization I work with is that I put my watermark on every single picture. So my logo transparent in the corner, and I encourage them to tag my studio. And then I also use them in all my things. And I can tag them too. So backlinks are kind of fun, like on Facebook and Instagram, things like that. And then you can actually use those rescue images for your portfolio. You don't have to tell people, well, this was a dog that I took for, the foster network. You don't have to do that. This is a beautiful dog picture you took. And there you go. So you got a lot of work and then your name just it starts rolling out there. It does take time though. It takes time for people to get to know you. And then they need to know that you're going to stick around. Photography can be a field that people kind of come and go from. So just stick with it. Does that answer that enough for today, Andrea? I hope so. Let me know if you have any more specific questions. Morgan, I want to start my business now. I've been just doing work for friends and family. That's great. That's perfect. That's kind of like what I did. If I had any friends and family in Colorado, I would have done that. That's what I did for my people photography brand back in Washington. I had all of my kids and all of their friends. And, so I was doing a lot of like scouts and seniors and things like that on the side because I also ran a veterinary hospital there. But, that's perfect, that's perfect. So, you know, what's really what's really cool is I did my BFF at one point. Bree, if you watch this, hey, so my BFF, I took her through my entire process. So for a little while, she lived here in Colorado, and when I was restarting my business here, and I said, "Hey, can I take you through my whole process?" So I photographed her, and then I put her in my sales program, and then I had her come over, and I went through the whole sales spiel like I would, and I asked for her feedback, and she was wonderful about this. So, so great. She got great photos out of it, and she got to help me, which she really loved, and I got to find out where the holes were in my sales process. So that was wonderful and kind of build my confidence there. So there's a lot of ways you can use your friends and family photos beyond just the actual photography technical experience. And they can help you with things like, okay, I want to try a different lighting technique or a different location, or I've got some new poses in mind. You could use them a few times to really get that muscle, that memory muscle for the actual technical part of it, and then take it further and say, hey, do you mind if I use this in my portfolio and hang it up as a display at a business? And can you help me out with my sales process? Can I put you through this? Don't worry, you don't have to buy anything. I just let's pretend like you're buying things. So, and actually, I am going to ask Frank. I haven't asked him this yet. I don't know if he's on here. If you are, hi Frank. I'm going to ask Frank if we could do a mock-up of a planning meeting. And so, a lot of my sales start at the planning meeting or the whatever you get to know me meeting. So there's a lot that goes into starting your own business. Also, be sure to go back a few videos, and I have a checklist of, well, gosh, maybe this has been a year ago now. Make sure you get all the legal stuff in place. Also, get a website, do all those. So if you're not ready to totally dive in and take clients now, get all the other back end stuff done. All right. Actually been a photographer for close to 30 years. Woohoo. Literally as a professional for the last 11, and I photograph people for a living right now, but I keep going back to pets. Oh my gosh. You know what's really funny, Andrea, is that yeah, I did the pet people for a super long time. And then when I moved here, and it's like, okay, all I know is pet people because I started working at a vet office because that was easy. And when I stopped working there, I thought, okay, I'm gonna restart my people portrait business. And I just miss the pets so much that I started volunteering. And then I thought, hey, I can have my people brand. It was Monique Renee Photography. And then let me start a second brand, Silver Paw Studio. And I bet those pet brands will just naturally bring people into my people photography. That didn't happen. It didn't happen. What happened was I got all these people for my pet photography that included people, and so I just after a couple of years of trying to run both those sides, I dissolved the people side and everything got merged into the pet photography. So that's kind of how that journey worked for me, and it can work for you. What I often do too is when people call and say they want just people pictures, I'll say, "Hey, do you have dogs or cats or horses that you want to include?" And many times they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, I do." So that could be a way to kind of spin your current clients over to the pet side. I would definitely look at Tara Patty. If you are in PPA, she's huge on the Loop forum. She is very, very generous. She's down in Colorado Springs, and she watched what I was doing up here with my pet brand and my people brand, and she did the same thing, but she's got still the two branches. So she has Springs Pets Portraits because we all call Colorado Springs Springs, and then her Terra Patty Photography. So if you look up that, she is ridiculously generous, and I'm sure that she'll be at imaging this year too. So you could talk to her. She's done commercial and portraiture. Oh, you photographed for a large company, you wanted to go out on my own. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, it's quite a bit different photographing for a large company. What you will gain though, because I've worked for the large companies too, like JCPenney Studios, who has Live Touch for the schools, right? So I did that for a season because I just had to. It taught me sales though. It was really great for sales and to have that like constant business. So you get to be fast, you get to be efficient, you know what people want, you get good with the sales. I think all of that could pull in. So the biggest tackle you'll probably have or hurdle will be like all the back end stuff that now you'll have to do yourself as far as taxes and all that. Best just one? Best tip for social media. Okay, which one? Which social? Okay, so let me start over. This will be in the course too. I have a little section on social media. Here's my advice. I've done whole talks on my approach to social media. Pick one. That's my biggest tip. Pick one. Now, grab your name on all of them. So Yaxon Media, grab it on all of the socials, that I think you already have. Even if you don't post to them, you might eventually, right? So, like, I almost never use Twitter, but I'm over there. Okay. But if you think, okay, I'm going to put, I think most of my clients, I've interacted them and seen them on Facebook, do a bunch on Facebook. So take some clips for what you're doing on YouTube, make those into shorter little videos that are, excuse me, like ads for your company and put that on Facebook because they don't like cross posting. You know how that is? It's kind of weird. Um, do posts on there, just go all in on Facebook. Be as compelling and interactive as you possibly can. Make it super interesting. I've talked on here about Mike Michalowicz's new book, Get Different. It really is good, and it helps think outside the box of what everybody else is doing. So I say just kind of go all in and then pivot when they say pivot. If you're on Instagram and you're one of the people who were crying your eyes out, because I'm not talking about you, I'm just talking about everybody. If y'all were upset when they said, we're not a photography platform anymore, we want to show video. Okay, let's have our moment, right? Okay, bye photos. No, I'm kidding. You can still post photos on Instagram, obviously. But they said, hey, we know that vertical video is huge right now. People just love it. And so we're going to push it more. Guess what? Instagram just told you how to rank. And we're over here not doing it. And I tell you, I did some reels, real easy ones. You find the trending songs, put some stuff in there, bam, they take off. Get on every new thing that the social medias offer you. That's another piece of advice. So there you go. Yeah. I feel like Instagram is quite popular amongst the photography industry. Yeah. That's my last. Okay. Oh, okay. You probably have to go. Yeah. So if you're on Instagram, do reels and stories, reels and stories, reels and stories. And then obviously whatever stills you're doing too. Yeah. I need to take my own advice. It's been a while since I've done reels. I've been just busy actually servicing my clients. So that's awesome too. Is podcasting a must for business? No, it's not. I don't think it's a must for photographers. Now, as a business coach or something, a different industry, yeah, probably. And I actually am behind. I have let's see if I have a banner for it. Yeah, I have the Pro Pet Photog podcast that I launched a few weeks ago, and it's supposed to come out every Monday. But again, I worked, I don't know, 30 hours this weekend, just this weekend. So I did not put an episode out today. I would say, though, let me go back to your question. Morgan, if you like audio format and you really like talking, then go for it. The barrier to entry for podcasts is super low. You do not need much for podcasting. And I use the anchor.fm app, who was bought by Spotify. So every time you make a episode on Anchor, you could ask it to do this. It won't just do it unless you want it to. It'll disperse it to like 10 plus platforms because podcasting platforms are kind of all over right now. Um, and so I've really liked it. I was co-hosting a radio show for a while, and the radio station allowed me to repackage my radio episode into a podcast episode. And the good thing about that for my local clients was, number one, that radio show was local. Great. It was specifically for pets. And we always had guests on. So stuff that people that were animal lovers would really like. So I on there twice had an avian um, organization come on, talk about owls and birds of prey. I had people who had written animal-based books. We have CSU, Colorado State University, here in our town, and my co-host had someone on there about bees, talking all about bees. So it was a really cool way to reach all these local people. And what I was eventually going to do, but then COVID, was start giving all of my guests a little packet of information about my business because I do service businesses as well. And if they had a brick and mortar, perhaps they could put up my cards, things like that. Um, I think I personally, surprising no one, do like podcasting. I like it, but I do not think it's essential. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Okay, so Tales with Tales is my original podcast that I ran for like 2.5 years. And it went through a lot of twists and turns. So in the beginning, it was my tales. So I did a season of my tales, and then I did a season or two of other people's tales. So people that I knew around town, past clients, pet business owners, I'd ask them. I'd just say, "Hey, do you have one story that or tale, that you could tell on the radio?" And then I would just show up with my phone and my podcasting microphone, which is here. It can work on my phone or my computer. And we would just chat and I would edit it just in Audacity or Audition. I have Audition now. Adobe Audacity is free. And that was really great. And then I did that year of the radio shows. So uh, it was kind of fun. I found that, like, the radio was very specific. It had to be, like, 28.5 minutes, absolutely no swearing, no calls to action. There was a lot of laws that we had to follow. Was it FCC guidelines, something like that? We had to go through this whole class. So, it was a little more restricting than I wanted, but there's a lot of ways that you could present a podcast, which makes it kind of exciting. It could be just you. You could be telling tales. You could be telling people about things that they can experience around town with their pets. Like there's so many things. And you probably saw that throughout my podcast days. Um, this time on the Pro Pet Photog podcast, I've decided to do segments because I find that I love segments on other people's shows. So I listen to Happier and Happier in Hollywood, those podcasts, and they tend to have segments. And I really kind of like that format. So I'm trying it. I'm trying that now. So we'll see. Y'all let me know what you think of the Pro Pet Photog podcast. I have very few people that kind of know about it yet. So feel free. All right. What mic am I using? Oh, it sounds great. Oh, it's just a Shure. Let's see. It's oh, I can make your little banner go away. Please hold. Ah. Okay. Ah. You know what? I don't even know which one this is, but what you can do, D, if you go to my main channel, right? Last fall, I made a whole series of videos on all of my video equipment, and I had a whole entire episode on my audio equipment, and this microphone's in there. It's very similar to like the Blue Yeti. So a lot of people talk about that. I think it was like $80 down at Guitar Center in town. So that was all. I liked it because I could hook it up to my phone or my computer. Mhm. So whether I keep this one much longer, I don't know. Partly because it's hooked up to one of these big arms. So it does take up a little bit of space, but I can squish it and move it out of the side. We'll see. I don't know. I'm glad it sounds good. This is kind of a reflective office. Luckily, it has carpet, so that's nice for sound. And I have some soft blinds on the window. That helps. But otherwise, it's like hard desk. Okay, yay. And honestly, like just getting a $25 lav mic could work for starting up your podcast too. And I know some people just really only use their phone. So there's that. If you're doing any kind of video production, you already have a microphone that might even work. So there's that. There's another. Obviously, there's huge, like all kinds of YouTube channels for this. You can get this kind of thing. You can get a field recorder if you want to. I don't use this too much except for on video productions where they have lines. There's dialogue. So these Zoom recorders. And this has a little, hold on. Here we go. It has the little thing that goes on the top. So the last time I used this, it was for a video production, and it was at a groundbreaking ceremony. And I had my camera kind of far back because it was this huge group of people. So I knew I couldn't have a shotgun mic. It would never pick that up. And there was wind and there was people behind me. So what I did was I started the video camera. I pressed record on this. I had someone hold it. I did the clap, 2 claps to sync the audio. And then I just handed it to the speaker and left it on the whole entire time. And then I just synced those things together. But this has really good recording options. You stick a little SD card in there, very simple to use. A lot of people pick up ambient. Like if you're a bird photography lover, some people like to record the sound of the birds chirping. Probably a little more techie than y'all wanted to know. Morgan says, ooh, maybe I can do a giveaway. Oh, perhaps that's a good idea. Yeah, I tend to be that person who doesn't like keep all of my equipment. I'd rather sell it or, give it away to someone who can still use it. I know there's a ton of people, especially in like camera club, and they will keep every single version of their camera. So people will have like all the way back 20 years, all their camera bodies, all their lenses. I'm like, why? Get it to somebody who can use it. Don't do that. I tend to not be a hoarder either, except for data. I kind of hoard data. Yay, you're welcome. So who is asking? Yeah, Morgan, do you want to start a podcast, or you could let us all know and then we'll go follow. I love listening to podcasts. They're so great if you have, a 10 or 20-minute drive, or when I'm on my walk doing the dishes. Like there's so many ways on my rowing machine. Like I listen to podcasts, I feel like a lot. And I think there's always room for more. Yeah. What do we got? 346. How's everybody doing? What other questions do you have? We've gotten some really helpful questions here, I think, with questions that could apply to everybody. Yay. Yay. All right. Do you have to report quarterly for your state? Yes. Now, in the first year or so, 2 years, I don't know, if there were quarters I didn't make any money, then you just have to file a 0 return for sales tax. And then, oh my gosh, my hair. Tax is different everywhere, obviously, right? So here in Colorado, we do have sales tax, and it's state and county and city. But when I file quarterly, they take care of county. So I don't have to really worry about that. And then there's the use tax that's like once a year. The level that I'm at, I only have to pay that once a year. But yeah, that reminds me, I need to put that on my list because it's time to file for Q3. So I do. And I have my accountant help me with that. So what I do is when I do my Pro Select sales, I make that invoice into a PDF, and I put them all in a Dropbox for that quarter. And then she makes sure she enters all the things in, so I have the sales tax right, because I don't have to charge sales tax on the session fee, digital products, things like that. That can change. So different states have different sales tax requirements. So you'll have to look into that, obviously, but that's a great thing for QuickBooks or whatever your accounting software is, that'll track that all for you. Yeah. Yeah. I need to put that on my list. It's got to go on the whiteboard for sometime this week. Yeah. They don't like it when you're late, right? What else? Are you all having a good fall? If you have your business kind of going, are you getting the clientele you want? I keep doing my hair the wrong way. There we go. Maybe. Let's just do that. I have bangs today. Are you having the fall that you want? Now I know COVID's in there, so that can like as of Wednesday, my county is reinstating an indoor mask mandate, which will make it fairly difficult for me to continue doing my video productions for businesses. So we'll have to figure out what to do about that. But otherwise, I have a lot of outdoor sessions still because it's real nice here. How did your fall go? How would you have liked it to go? Are these too deep of questions for you? I'm not sure. And this could be, for client sessions, for your model calls, for your rescues. I love all the pictures that you post, everybody in the Facebook group. Go here to apply. I mean, you have to answer the question so I don't get bots and people who sell Ray-Ban sunglasses. But go here and become part of the Facebook group because I just love it when you all post your pictures. Um, that gives me a lot of inspiration. I'm sure it gives a lot of people inspiration. Let that go away. There we go. Your state charges sales tax on session fees. I see, that's good to know. State sees that as part of producing the images. Yeah. Okay. And it's really strange. Like, some areas, professional services are here in my county or my state. Some, like, if you're a plumber, you don't have to. But if you're like a photographer, you I don't know, like your plumber, you do have to, a photographer, you don't. It's super weird. I wish it was, I don't know. Even last time I went down and talked to them, I said, "What about a CD?" Because I'm handing them a CD, but it's really just all digital. I don't do that anymore. And he's like, I don't know. They didn't even know at their office. So we're doing the best we can, right? Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's hot here today, or it feels like it. Oh, yes, I was talking about the Facebook group. I posted recently, I need to get out and figure out what to do for a sparkly winter holiday set for dogs and cats at the rescue. So that's still kind of coming along. I'll try to film that whole process too, so I can share that all with you as a video here on YouTube. I have big plans, but I want it to be safe for the dogs and cats. I don't want them to get wound up in lights or eat stuff they shouldn't. Um, so I'm working on that, but it's kind of the back burner to the actual client work I have right now, which is fantastic. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I just realized this. This is my rack card. And look at this little puppy. That's Sugar Bee. If you remember last summer, I did a video on my 5 go-to shots and I used all the pictures from Sugar Bee's baby session. Last week, I photographed Sugar Bee as an adult. Oh my gosh, he was the best. And and it was so windy that day. That was one of the windy sessions that I just didn't even bother getting a video camera out because it would fall. So I really wanted to share that session with you, but it just couldn't happen. So I have a little bit of footage, like a 1-minute thing I did at the end. I said, "Oh, I'm just gonna get some footage of Sugar Bee." So it's just us like playing with him. Darn it. Um, but I might be able to do something with that session. I do get a lot of questions. Oh my gosh, my hair. I get a lot of questions about photographing black dogs and black cats. And guess what? Oh my gosh. I photographed a black lab puppy and she let me film the whole thing. Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Talking about the perfect fall colors, gorgeous family, and the roly-poliest black lab puppy ever. Oh my gosh. And when I asked her, she said, "Are you kidding me? You have a black dog model for life." She works in education. She's like, "I'm all about education. Whenever you want to film a video with my puppy is fine." Oh my gosh, everybody. The best. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to share that with you. So it won't be this Friday. It'll be the next Friday. Yeah. Okay, we're winding down. I think y'all are getting tired. I'm getting tired. I don't see any more questions coming in. I'll stay here for another minute or two. Let me see what other banners I have to tell you. Yeah, so we talked about check out the podcast, my husband and I's channel, if you want to. I haven't done much on Instagram lately, but if you're wondering about doing reels, I have a few. I have a few on a couple of. I have 3 Instagram channels. I have Pro Pet Photog, Silver Paw Studio, and Cattail Chronicles, and I've done reels on all of those, so you can see how easy they can be. If you want to email me directly, you can right here, Monique@propetphotog.com. You can obviously leave a message on this video too. Replayers, thank you for watching. The Facebook group. And be sure that you're on the email list at propetphotog.com. Go there. There's a little spot that you can sign up for email because people on that list are getting a pretty good deal on the pre-sale of my marketing course I just filmed. And I'm telling you, I took like 9 hours to film this course, and it was more than I thought it was gonna be. You know, when you write a script, you just like, you can read it really fast, but when you go to there's a lot of goodness in this course, trust me. Let me make that go away, so be sure you're on that. What else we got going on over here? Do, this live stream once a month. And so what I've been trying to do is like the 3rd or 4th Monday. This seems to be a pretty good time, 3 o'clock Mountain. So I've been sticking with that. That's partly because most of the Mondays I'm at the shelters until about 12:30, and then that gives me time to come home, eat lunch, process the photos, and then take a breath before getting on live streaming. So I don't know when the next one will be. Let me get my phone. Why don't we just kind of decide right now? That'll keep me accountable, won't it? So today is the 18th. I'm thinking that in the US here, it will fall on kind of a holiday time. Oh no, the 15th. What do you think about November 15th, everybody? I'm going to put it on my calendar. That will be the next live Q&A. YouTube live. Now, because I do have that course coming out that first week of November, you might keep your notifications on because who knows? I might go live a different time or an additional time. Okay. Yay. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. So let me put that in the chat here. November 15th, 3 o'clock. Whoops. I probably should put the. Okay. Ta-da. There we go. So that'll be the next live. I like to kind of put my comments up on here just in case you're watching the replay and you don't have access to the chat for whatever reason. So there you go. All right. Did I answer everybody's questions today? I hope it's been a good fall for you and good October. You got to see some colors. I have my husband and I did film going through the Peak to Peak Highway here in Colorado to see all the fall colors, and that video will come out in a few weeks because we have so much road trip to Santa Fe footage. But if you missed the fall colors, you'll be able to see that on the Cattail Chronicles channel, and that channel is growing kind of quickly. Because I talk a lot about gear over there. So if you're kind of geek out on Sony gear, that's a great place to go see what we're doing. We have some pretty big lenses that have gained a lot of attraction. So yeah. Oh, your colors are just starting? Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. If we get one more windstorm, ours will probably be done. But we've had an amazing long year. Are you talking about your colors or your sessions, Morgan? I kind of thought that was colors. You're welcome, DG. Is it just D, or should I say DG? I kind of like it both ways. Whatever you like, though. I think sometimes in the portrait photography field, we get a lot of last minuters. They go, "Oh my gosh, the fall colors are almost gone. I need a session." Oh, your sessions are just starting. Okay, good. So I hope you have like fall colors for them, if that's what they want. But the last few years it's been like, okay, everybody, come on, everybody. I have my weekly email and I put it out on socials and everything like the fall colors are here, the fall colors are here. And then inevitably people wait till they're just about gone, which is a bummer. So I'm glad you're getting some fall sessions in here. Whoop whoop. That's great. Are you doing Morgan, are you doing people and pets? Are you just doing pets? What are you doing? Do I use my photos for stock photography? I do not, but you certainly could if you have a release from your client. And the reason I don't is because I want that experience to be all about what they need for their home. And when I've done stock shoots, that is what I need for a stock portfolio. And it can be very different photos, usually more copy space. We might spend more time on it. We might put some different props in there. So my stock sessions are different, in my opinion. But if you have like if you're doing your friends and family, I mean, wouldn't that be great? So most all of my stock portfolio at this point is on iStock/Getty, but Heartspeak has a whole Images for Good, I think it's called, something like that, a whole stock site on Heartspeak. So if you're a member there, that'd be a great place. And Morgan, they're always looking. Yeah, okay, people and pets. They're always looking for people with the pets in that stock gallery or portfolio over there. So it's great to have the pets, but if you can get your family and friends to model for you for that too, you can make a little bit of dollars on the side, right? Why not? I totally think you should. People are needing that content. So I love that idea. I just don't because I want to concentrate all on, the wall art that they want for their wall and their home and gifts and whatever. But yeah, friends and family, go for it. I know. Oh gosh, this puppy. Oh. The other thing, Morgan, is you cannot have logos in stock. Now, they've loosened up on that just a little bit, but when I was really putting a lot of effort into stock, you have to edit every single logo. If they're wearing Nike shoes, erase that swish. If they're riding a bike, the puppy and a bike, whatever, you have to erase the Schwinn, all that. You cannot have recognizable buildings or places unless you get a property release. So it's a lot pickier, and you have to have pretty high technical standards. Everything has to be just right. White balance, focus, for everything has to be top notch for stock, or it will be declined because you have to go through that process. Um, yeah, and just make sure all the logos are gone. Nowadays, if it's teeny tiny logo, maybe you can get away with it, but it's some editing work. But if you're able to get some really good stock, I think last time I looked, stock with like kids or stock inside or any kind of like minority group or just anyone who's underrepresented, basically, could use more. Seniors, senior pets, senior people, that kind of thing. And it's a separate model release for children, just so you know. You need to have parent signature on those, but it's pretty easy. Easy Release is the app I use for those. Yeah. Here in Oklahoma, we're just starting and won't see most of it until probably the last week of October. Wow. Oh my gosh. So I just photographed a couple from Minnesota. They've lived here less than a year. And they said their prime day in Minnesota is usually October 10th. He says the weekend, whatever weekend October 10th-ish falls on is when they say, but that's pretty lots farther north. So that's interesting. But that area of the country up in Minnesota had kind of a drought this year, which is really strange. And they had not as big a show of colors. So when they went on vacation and came back here, they said they drove it through to Colorado and like Colorado has better colors than Minnesota this year. That's amazing. But yeah, it's so great if you can kind of spread your season even farther. If you have the people that want those portraits outside in the fall colors, and it's kind of cooler this time of year, and the sun is like got a lower angle. It's just it's delicious. I do have business coaching. So one of the things that you can look at, Morgan, is over here on Pro Pet Photog. There's the community center and there's also one-to-one. So I offer one-to-one coaching. If you ever want to kind of deep dive, we do a Zoom call that I record, I write notes, and I send you a synopsis of the entire meeting. And it's a 1 hour meeting. Um, and I can just answer any questions that you want at that time. And I've had people ask for portfolio review, equipment recommendations. Can I look at just maybe they come with 5 questions and we bam, 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 and we write notes. So there's all kinds of things in there. And then obviously whatever I post here too. I have given other talks and things to groups. I just haven't put that together in anything digital at this point. So I just kind of scatter it throughout this YouTube channel and the emails and the Pro Pet Photog work that I do. So Morgan, if you ever have kind of a one-to-one that you want to talk to me about, I'm totally open to that. Just hop over to that Pro Pet Photog and you can um, schedule a call one-to-one with me. There's a small fee for that. But also here, that's why I do this once a month here on YouTube, is to also answer questions. But I find that it's nice to have the one-to-one because we can really concentrate. No one else is going to come in. We can talk about something sensitive like your pricing, things like that, or any, client stuff you're trying to work through, emails and stuff. So I do like to offer that. The community center is slowly getting up and running, and the idea there is to have group coaching calls once a month, that it's just like this, but a closed group of just the people in the community center. Haven't quite gotten to that level yet. But for the people in there, I've been doing one-to-ones. So if you do an ongoing membership, that's part of that. So there you go. Yeah. Oh my goodness, it's 4:05, everybody. I don't wanna take up all your time. I gotta respect everybody's time here. I'm so, so happy that you all came today. It's so great to see you. Or you can see me. I can see your your icon. So I love that. Thanks so much for being part of this, and just coming in here with everybody, and we're kinda sharing knowledge with each other, right? Yay! All right. Oh my gosh, I think that's all I got for you today. We got through all of the questions. So, what do I always say? Let's see, where'd it go? Oh my gosh, where is it? Ah, there it is. Okay. I got to get going, finish the things I've got on my whiteboard checklist for the day. And so I'm going to get going. What do I always say? You can all say it with me. You can say it with me if you want. As always, I wish you many woofs, purrs, and TREATSs. Okay. Bye, everyone. You rock. Thank you. You're the best. Okay. Bye.